The match against Tanzania yesterday clearly goes to show why we never deserved to be in the World Cup. The game the Super Eagles of Nigeria played against Tanzania was shambolic, disgusting, disgraceful. In as much as they got the 3 points, which was just the only thing that is important going into that game. The performance was shameful against Tanzania. My God, with all the expectations and everything, the high hopes, lots of Nigerians are actually taken into this game. Despite everything they are going through, they just know that football, when it comes to the Super Eagles of Nigeria, it's one thing that actually gives us joy and actually brings us together. What I saw yesterday was an eyesore. It was disgraceful. Now, let me start this way. The result is good. No doubt, the 2-1 victory was good, most especially when the Tanzanian national team actually got the equalizer. The mentality I saw in Victor Osimhen, going to the post, pick the ball, running straight to the center of the pitch, drop the ball, and give his teammates that encouragement and inspiration that, guys, we can do it. The mentality Victor Osimhen put up at that point was just another positive to take from that game. And in less than 2 minutes, the Super Eagles of Nigeria had gone up again. But then, if we look at the performance of the game, from start to finish, the Super Eagles of Nigerians were so sluggish, they couldn't even maintain a particular tempo of the game. Or where I watched the game, Sunday Olise, the legendary Sunday Olise of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, was in the studio as one of the commentators. He said the Super Eagles of Nigeria need to up the tempo of the game. But then, nothing to show. Against a Tanzanian side that came into the game with only one plan. And what was the plan the Tanzanian national team actually came with? Let's sit back, absorb the pressure, then we can be able to catch them at a counter. And that actually almost worked for the Tanzanian national team. The Super Eagles of Nigeria fell for the game plans of the Taifa Stars of Tanzania. The performance from the Super Eagles yesterday, man, it was really disgusting. Because if this is what the team want to play, if this is what Eric Shell want to actually give to us, then the hopes and expectation we have going into this tournament is as good as just forgetting about the trophy. Because that performance was shambolic. Now, let me begin with the defense line, because during the preview of the game, when I previewed the game, I was not able to watch the press conference of Eric Shell and Wilfred Ndidi before I did that preview, but I later watched their press conference. Wilfred Ndidi made us understand that the spirit in the team is very high, and as such, they are ready to go for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And as such, they are ready to go for Nigerians. My brother, let me tell you one thing. If you put up a performance that is good, the credit is for you. As a fan, and I believe same to other Nigerians, we will be happy that the Super Eagles of Nigeria did well. But the credit is for you. And your children, your family will actually ask you, bro, you did well. They will appreciate you. But if you put up a performance this shambolic, and the Super Eagles of Nigeria are knocked out of this competition, the shame is still on you. Believe me, the shame will still be on you guys. I'm talking about the players now. Because that performance was nothing to write home about. Absolutely nothing. We played a Tanzania, the team that have never won a match in AFCON, actually put us through this stress. I just sat down and was laughing at some point. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, in fact, where I sat down, we were the one begging, referee, please just end the game. I beg, end the game, maybe so we don't win. Come on. Come on. That performance was really embarrassing. It was really embarrassing. From the goalkeeping line, from the goalkeeping to the defense line, there was a disconnect. There was no connection between Stanley Nwabali and the defense line. In the midfield, I really don't understand the tactics that Eric Shell have actually deployed to play Samuel Chukwueze and Ademola Lookman. These guys are natural wingers. Why bringing them inside the midfield? At some point, I thought Samuel Chukwueze is actually playing the number 10 role. Samuel Chukwueze was just everywhere in the midfield. Anyway, kudos to him, he actually tried. His last ball is something that was not connecting. It wasn't connecting, it wasn't working. The role Samuel Chukwueze and Ademola Lookman were deployed to play actually rendered the team captain, talking about Wilfred Ndidi, useless in the midfield because he was nowhere. He was nowhere in the game. He was actually hiding behind the players. That tactics, that style of play was actually uncalled for. It was actually uncalled for. That performance, the performance of the Super Eagles against Tanzania was embarrassing to see. But I just hope Eric Shell and the technical crew will sit down and get it right. Because if we continue with this kind of performance, we are going nowhere. The next big game, the next big test for us is the group game against Tunisia. If we put up this type of performance against Tunisia, what we played with Tanzania, we will be beating blue-black. The Tunisian national team will defeat us. The Tunisian national team I saw last night against Uganda that were very aggressive. Always the hunger they shows, it really shows that this one, they know what they actually they know what actually brought them into the competition. You can see how much of the hunger the Tunisian national team used to approach the game against Uganda. They were that good. And they end up defeating Uganda by 3-1. They defeated Uganda by 3-1. Eric Shell need to talk to those boys. We can't parade this array of stars because 80% of the team in the Super Eagles national team are starters in their respective club, in top clubs in European football. Can you say the same of the Tanzanian national team? I doubt that. You can't. You can't say the same. Even right from the goalkeeper, talking about Stanley Mwabali, who plays his football in South Africa, is a starter. You want to talk about Kelvin Bassey, Alex Iwobi, and Samuel Chukwueze? They are starters at Fulham. Their starter, Ademola Lookman, is a starter in Atlanta. Victor Osimhen is a starter at Galatasaray. These are top European clubs. We arranged this array of stars, and yet the performance we got was very shambolic. It was nothing to write home about. The Super Eagles of Nigeria last night, that performance was really disgusting. I must actually state the obvious. Despite the win, the performance was disgusting. But then what is the positive to take out of that particular game? Well, I've actually heard some quarter actually saying the Argentine national team began the Qatar 2022 World Cup having lost their opening game to the Saudi Arabian national team. Bro, not be the same team. Not be the same thing. No carry Argentina national team carry compare Super Eagles and African football. It no go work. It no go work. You think saying we lost that match to Tanzania yesterday is as good as saying we are out from the group stage because the Tunisian national team would have made sure they dealt with us very well. Come on, let's tell ourselves the truth. If we not work, if say we lose that game to Tanzania, who do we have in our group in Group C? Nigeria, Tunisia, Uganda, and Tanzania. And we couldn't keep a clean sheet against Tanzania, the weakest team in the group. That is the easiest national team we would have faced in the competition. The easiest. Because going forward, I don't see us meeting any other team like Tanzania. It's not possible. We want to talk about the Senegalese that were playing football yesterday as if it was just an electric spark. The way they actually took their opponent to the cleaners, defeating them by 3-0. Defeating them by 3-0. Or we want to talk about the Hungry Democratic Republic of Congo that actually defeated Benin Republic by 1-0. We saw the compatibility in these teams. We saw how compact their midfield was. And that is what actually gave them the edge going forward. I watched the Senegalese midfield, the way they played, the connectivity, that of all striker in the world, of all striker, I'm a Chelsea fan, of all striker, Nicholas Jackson got 2 goals. Nicholas Jackson got 2 goals. So far, he's the highest goal scorer in AFCON. And we have Victor Osimhen. We have Victor Osimhen, whereby most of the fans that came to that stadium yesterday, they came all because they wanted to watch Victor Osimhen. There is no place you enter today when the legendary name of JJ Okocha mentioned. In this our era, the name that is all over the mouth of Africans is Victor Osimhen. They were in that stadium to watch Victor Osimhen, but yet from the midfield to the attacking line, there was no connectivity between the midfielders and Victor Osimhen up front. There was no connectivity between the wingers and Victor Osimhen up front. Because of what? The tactics Eric Charles deployed Samuel Chukwueze and Ademola Lookman to actually play was awful. He played them off of their position. It wasn't good to see. These guys are natural wingers. Play them as such and let's see how the game will flow. There was no crosses into the box. We all know who Victor Osimhen is. Bring in 2, 3, 4 crosses. One will definitely be at the back of the net. You can imagine when we wanted to play the corner cross. Look at how the Tanzanian defenders were all over Osimhen as if it was a Royal Rumble. To tell you how dangerous that guy is, Victor Osimhen might not give us 10 goals in AFCON, but the tactics you will deploy to play, Victor Osimhen will be the center of attraction to defenders, thereby you leaving space, thereby creating space for Akko Adams to actually do the damages. That is what we want to see, but that never happened yesterday because there was no link-up of play between the wingers, the midfielder, to the attackers. The performance yesterday was really shameful, I must say. I was really, really upset. I was. But then, the 3 points was just the consolation. We got the win, we got the 3 points, and we started the competition with a win. But if we continue with this performance, believe me, if we meet a better team, that is more focused, more attacking minded, they will deal with us. Currently, I don't want to believe that the retirement of William Truls Ekong from the national team have created a loopholes in our defense line. I still also don't want to believe that the injury Benjamin Frederick actually suffered has actually created a loopholes in the right back. I don't want to believe that. Because throughout yesterday, I don't know whether Bright Osai Samuel was scared to go forward. There was nothing from the fullback added to the game. Zaidu Sanusi, no doubt, currently is the best left back in our national team, if not arguably the best left back in Africa currently. But yesterday his game, it was not in his A game at all. It was not in his A game. The manager needs to talk to these boys. He needs to go back to the drawing table and check where this thing was not actually connected. Check where the game was not actually being connected. Because the player yesterday looks like, after they are assembled in Morocco, they have not been training. That was just how it looked like. It looked like they were not having any training section. That performance was shameful against Tanzania. It was shameful, I must say. We just have to be real. We have to be real. We are supporting the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We are proud fans of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But if we continue to put off this performance with this current era with this modern age of football, that African football is evolving and we are seeing it, and you think you still want to play this archaic style of football, man, we will be dealt with. We've not actually met the big boys. The big boys are there waiting for us in the next stage, should we progress from the group phase of the competition. Which I'm very much optimistic we should. But not with this kind of performance we put up against Tanzania yesterday. Eric Shaw, I don't want to believe that your performance against Benin Republic in the last group game of the World Cup qualification was a fluke, that we defeated Benin Republic by 4-0. Go back and check that video clip that Victor Osimhen actually had an hat-trick. Is that an hat-trick, or he scored all 4 goals? 2 assists from Samuel Chukwueze and 2 assists from Moses Simon. Go back and watch that clip. I don't also want to believe that having finished second, the runner-up in the group phase of the World Cup, and we progress to the playoff round of the World Cup, I don't want to believe that the game we played against Gabon was a fluke. Because after these 2 games I just mentioned, the performance of the Super Eagles of Nigeria against Democratic Republic of Congo that led to our defeat, not qualifying to the Intercontinental Playoff, was shambolic. And the same performance is just what we saw yesterday against Tanzania. If you continue on this track, then I'm afraid the Super Eagles of Nigeria might not go far. But this is just the first match of the group stage. I can understand it comes with every pressure, because every teams will always want to win their first game. Every teams will always want to win their first game in order to give them that confidence going forward. Kudos to the Super Eagles. Kudos to them. They actually tried. And like I said earlier, there are 1 or 2 positives we can take from the game. 1 or 2 positives. First, the mentality I saw in Victor Osimhen, despite not scoring, is what's encouraging. And other players should actually pick up that same mentality. Because whenever you see Victor Osimhen up front in the Super Eagles national team, is one player that is he carries the game with his heart. Very hungry and looking to go forward and looking to score goals. He knows the pressure that comes because currently he's the leader in the team and he's one player that we all are looking up to actually salvage something for us in any game. But in as much as defenders are trying, are doing everything possible to ensure that Victor Osimhen doesn't show up in games, then it's an advantage to you as a manager, Eric Schell, to use Victor Osimhen as a distraction and create a room for other players to cause the damage. We saw that play out in 2023 AFCON. Victor Osimhen actually got one goal, but then his presence up front was dangerous to any defense line, and it was actually creating room for other players to actually shine. Secondly, Alex Iwobi. Wow. Alex Iwobi actually deserves all the credit he needed. We can actually see the connectivity, the passes Alex Iwobi was bringing into the game. The first goal, we saw the beautiful cross that Ajayi actually connected to score that goal. In my opinion, Alex Iwobi put up the man of the match performance, but I'm surprised that the man of the match actually went to Ajayi, a defender. Anyway, probably because he actually scored. But Alex Iwobi was just the only positive in that midfield that was trying to get things connected to Victor Osimhen. Ademola Lookman had his chances with a beautiful pass again from Alex Iwobi, and he was able to convert that. He's a star player. He was the former African Footballer of the Year before the current one, talking about Ashraf Hakimi. So, taking his chance was just good to see. These guys, the players we have in AFCON currently, they are superstars. They play in top clubs in Europe. So, we shouldn't be talking about what they should have been doing effortlessly when it comes to African soil, as if it's one big thing. This is something they do in their clubs week in, week out. So coming to the national team, it shouldn't be something that will surprise us anymore. But when they do the otherwise, we have to call them out because they are professionals. And as such, lots of Nigerians are looking up for positive games in our next match against Tunisia. So Eric Schell and the technical crew need to sit down and take a look at the game. What went wrong? And actually fix it before the game against Tunisia. Because if we fall out in this particular manner and play the same kind of game, the Tunisian national team will actually beat the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That is the reality. That is just the reality. What do you make of the Super Eagles game last night against the Taifa Stars of Tanzania? Were you impressed? If you were not impressed, if you are not impressed by their performance, what do you think the head coach, talking about Eric Schell, needs to do going forward? Okay, before I end on this note, other games actually went down in match day 3 of the ongoing AFCON, as Democratic Republic of Congo defeated Benin Republic by 1-0, and Senegal were 3-0 better off of Botswana, taking them to the cleaners, and that was the highest win, the highest scoring side in the competition before the Tunisian game that went down last night. So Senegal defeated Botswana 3-0, as Tunisia, who is currently in the same Group C with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, went on to defeat Uganda by 3-0. So currently in Group C, Tunisia currently sit top with 3 points and +2 goal difference, while the Super Eagles of Nigeria are second with 3 points with +1 goal difference. What's your thoughts generally in match day 3 of the AFCON? Drop your thoughts down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Catch you in the next video. Bye.